Hello and welcome to part 3 of the characters and party members Smile Game Builder tutorial. Jeez, that's become something of a mouthful. This is the 7th one in the series. If you remember, we added Marie, who wants a flower, or more specifically a mountain rose, Ignaz, who wants money, and Lisa, who has trouble with her chickens. The final party member is Eldred. He will request a random item which you'll then have to find before he'll join your party. So first we'll add a walking speak event, change his graphic to, I think it's Hero 4 and Hero 4 again. And then in the character dialogue, he will say, if you can find me a certain item, I'll join your party. Straight into the advanced event, and we'll rename the event to Eldred, and sheet 1 we'll rename Eldred join party. We didn't do this in the previous events. It's always a good practice to rename event sheets to something more meaningful so they're easy to refer to when re-editing. Another note about sheets is that when you add an event sheet, it's dependent on the one you have selected. So if you were to select the first one and then add an event sheet, it will be inserted in between the two event sheets. So we'll delete those for now. Sometimes it doesn't automatically renumber them either. Okay, now there are several methods of doing this. The simplest way, especially for keeping track of everything easily, is setting up all the event sheets correlating to random numbers and items. But we're not doing that, of course. Instead, we'll take the minimalist, more economical approach. So, sheet 1, add a condition to check if Eldred is in the party. Sorry, is not in the party. And after the dialogue, we will add an events variable box. Choose random. I've already set it up. Add a random number, and we'll say 3, which means that there are 4 items because it always starts at 0. And then underneath that we add a variable box check, set it to random, stick with the value. The first value would be 0. The first value would be 0 because remember it starts at 0. And then under its yes dialog, under its yes option, we add another dialog box which we can simply copy and then paste for convenience. I'd like a medicinal herb. Now we can copy the variable box check like so, and everything within that branch, within that condition, will be copied. So we paste it here, change the random value to 1, and then change this to an antidote. And I omitted the full stop here. My English teacher once told me that if you don't end sentences with a full stop or period, then the words will run off the page. And I've never forgotten that, so now I'm something of a stickler when it comes to full stops at the ends of sentences. Anyway, we repeat this twice more, we paste it, change the random number, and then we will have next item that he wants is a knife. Once more, change it to 3. I'd like a bandana. Okay. That's done. And as you can see, what it'll do is it'll check if random is 0. If so, he wants a herb. If not, it will check if it's 1, and so on and so on. Now this may actually seem somewhat complex at first, or unnecessary or something, but at least here you can trace the loops and keep track of all of the different branches. In RPG Maker, notably, when you have nested branches like this, it isn't always as easy to maintain, especially when they're quite long. I can remember when I had so many conditional branches that even though when you can highlight them, I got so lost that I just rage quit and started again. And then at the very end of all of those branches, above add event, we turn on the switch. Again, I've created it. Check item. Now we add a second sheet, and then we rename it to, I don't know, check for item. Add a condition again to check if he's in the party. He's not in the party. I keep on saying that. Add another condition to check item is on. Once the random number has been ascertained, then it'll check the item and it'll turn on. And so now this sheet will be processed. Here we'll add more branches, but as before it's just a case of copying and pasting and then tweaking their details. And this time we'll be using some serious nested branches. There's a lot of repetition here, but it is economical in the long run. So from sheet 1 we copy the entire variable box check, which will paste everything in it, like so. What we'll do is check which random number is generated, then check if the item is held or not. If it is, Eldred will take the item and join. The reason we're doing it this way is if you just put branches for each item, it'll go through the branches until one of them is true. If Eldred has requested an antidote herb, but you have a bandana, he'll take the bandana instead. We could just add everything to sheet 1, but it'll really make things unnecessarily more difficult to follow. So under variable box 0, random number equals 0, we will use the conditions and switch check held items, and so in this case it's defaulted to the first one, a medicinal herb. Then we subtract 1 medicinal herb and turn switch 1 on. Then we can just cut this and paste it under the medicinal herb. When held items medicinal herb is greater, paste it in. We don't have the medicinal herb I asked for. Now copy the held branch like so, and then paste it. Well, first of all, we'll delete this, and we'll delete it from the other ones as well. So under the next variable box check, under yes, we paste didn't copy this one, so we copy check held items and then we paste it in. So then we can change to antidote and change the display text. Antidote. We repeat twice more for the knife. And change this. And another one for the bandana. And again with the text. Now with these two items, with the knife and the bandana, because they're equipped, because you can equip them, you can check the include equipment, like so, which means that if you have them equipped as a weapon or armor, then Eldred will kindly remove them for you, and that might even mean that he'll strip you bare. Right. So now we add a third sheet, which let's rename it to have Eldred's item. Again, we have to check to see if he is not in the party, and we add a display dialog which we can just copy from the previous events, the previous sheets. Let's say something like, thank you, now I'll join your party. So we need to add another switch, check 1, have Eldred's item, which reminds me that's not properly set up in the previous ones. The switch 1 hasn't been properly set up in sheet 2, so we'll come back to that. In the meantime, we will add, there you go, add Eldred to the party, and then add a text dialog. Eldred has joined your party. I've also done this for the other party members. So now when we come back here, check for item. I'll delete this for a sec. Now, what we forgot to do, add event panel, and then decrease the item by 1, and then add switch, have Eldred's item turned on, so that means if you have any of these items, it'll activate, and then it'll go to have Eldred's items. Bear with me, this is mostly from memory, so I'm kind of like bumbling my way through this. Should make notes. Right, copy this and then paste it under here. Change to antidote. Again, paste it here, and then he'll take away the knife, and it's the same here. He will take away the bandana. So the next thing is we copy the switch. Oh, what did I do that for? Copy switch, and then paste it underneath like that, and again underneath. Check held items, knife, yes. Make knife amount held 1. Paste. And then same way with the bandana. So that is it. So now when we play test, he'll request a random item. If you don't have it, he'll tell you that you don't have the item requested. But if you do, he'll join the party. In the game, you'll obviously have to set up various means of obtaining the item he wants, but for convenience, I just set up a simple chest that will add all of those items: herb, antidote, knife, and bandana. Before we play test, one thing I missed is the cave entrances. I can't recall without looking how I set it up previously, but sometimes it's important to note that when you set up entrances, if you set them up a certain way, then you'll have like an endless loop And what I accidentally did was I accidentally teleported. I put it so when the player touched, went from there, and then it hit that, and then it bounced back and forth. So an easy way to address that is what I had actually put was triggered automatically one time only. And so when making contact with the player instead. So what it'll mean is when it contacts that, it'll bounce there and it won't recontact unless you exit off and then go back. Anyway, I digress. Let us now finally playtest it all. Okay, start with the cupboard, open up, note the bottom drawer, Marie Flowers, Ignaz Money, Lisa Eggs and Eldred. We'll start with Ignaz since he is already here. 500 gold, he'll join and fight Lancers and pay for it. Yes, sorry but you don't have enough money, come back when you do. Okay, fair enough. Speak to Eldred. You find me a certain item, I'll join your party. I'd like an antidote. Okay. You don't have the antidote I asked for. So fair enough. Eldred, get out of the bloody way. I want to speak to Maria first. Oh, come on, you dude. Let's try going back in. Speak to Maria. She says that wonderful little ditty, of course. Alright, let's find Lisa. Oh, Lisa. There you are. Oh, Lisa. Oi! Oh my god, I can't catch these chickens. They're too fast. Please, will you help me? No. Meanie! Okay, I'll be nice. Lisa. Oi! Oh my god, I can't catch these chickens. Will you help me? Thank you! Does that little dance? Right. Come here, chicken. Chicken! Oi! Oh, goodness sake. There you go. Laid an egg. We got the flower. Now let's dash up Ignaz's money. And we'll open the chest. There you go. Eldred, here. There you go. Now, let's give Lisa her breakfast. Let's give Lisa her breakfast. Well, she should have joined. Okay. That's a bug on my part. To confirm, you have 3 additional party members. And that's it for this tutorial. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, so in the next tutorial I'll run through some suggestions from visitors and subscribers mainly if a certain character is in the party, if a certain location has been visited, and if a certain monster has been defeated, party members will join. And after that, I will start on conditions, which is another highly requested area. If you have suggestions for future tutorials, let me know in the comments below. In the next few tutorials, I'll start working on some of those how-to requests and suggestions I've received. Like, subscribe, and visit my blog, Twitter, and Facebook for more news and videos. Thanks for watching. Until the next time.